When I go to conferences, people often ask me, is generative design AI? Or is AI same as generative design? To answer this question, I'd like to introduce three computational design terminologies: parametric design, optioneering, and generative design. Parametric design is a form of design where designers create potential solutions by defining fixed and changeable parameters or variables and their relationship. For instance, you have a rectangle, you can define the length and the height of the rectangle as x and y, and these will be two parameters that you can change and you can play with. In designing a facade of a building, for instance, we can identify the four corners of the facade as fixed and define some movable or control points for creating the curvature in the geometry. So using parametric technology tools, you can define these parameters and their relationship to create various designs. So next up is optioneering, where you can connect your parametric defined geometry or your parametric model into a code or script that creates hundreds or thousands of different variations or options from the geometries, with the goal of finding the high performing designs. We need to connect this geometry engine into performance calculator so that we can evaluate how they're performing. For instance, for daylighting, for structural energy analysis, for cost, and for vibration, and so on. And because these calculations are time consuming, you cannot just randomly create design geometries and simulate them. You need to control how the geometry engine generates more high performing solutions. So this control over the geometry system is very important, and that's where we need to have other algorithms connected to the geometry system. The algorithm needs to create various solutions, measure their performance, analyze their trade-offs, and guide the geometry engine to create better and high-performing solutions. This is what is known today as generative design. For this controller, if we choose to use evolutionary algorithm, then we'll be using AI algorithms in generative design. But if we choose not to use evolutionary algorithm or AI algorithms, we don't use AI in generative design. AI is not generative design, and generative design is not AI, but we can choose to use AI in controlling the geometry system in generative design.